All right, I'm gonna come after a Philly flipper. Come on, that.
Need a margarita?
I need a margarita? No. I need margaritas alone. But if you've been in my shows, you know I'm a squirrel brain, and I can't remember shit. So I had to have my son do a PowerPoint for me. And I can't see, so I can't read my phone. So that's why it's up here, so y'all can see it. Storage Treasures went over a lot of this stuff about how to buy storage units, and I'm going to hit on some of the points. But before I do, I just need to give a shout out to my son and his ability with technology and him making my PowerPoint for me. And I also want to talk about the squirrels and the hugs and how that came about, because I think there might be some confusion. The squirrel brain, these are both from my buyers. Both of those instances came from my buyers. Not from me, not from Quincy. Whenever I first joined, we were trying to figure out what kind of emoji to put in the chat. And one of my buyers said, you can't remember shit, you should have it as a squirrel. So that's where squirrel brain came in. The hugs was also from a buyer, because I happened to mention on a show that my son never hugs me. And then one day he surprised me with a hug when we were finishing up, I think it was one of the Whatnot Manias, and he came, we were closing the door to the storage unit, and he walks up to me and he says, Mom, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you, because I know you work really hard to make this successful, and I love you, and he gave me a hug. And I decided to share that in my show. And next thing I know, we're getting tips from buyers saying, Quincy, hug your mama. And now it happens all the time, and he does just that. You see him shaking his head. Shaking his head, stop tipping me. I'm not hugging her. So that's where the squirrels and the hugs came from. If you all don't know, this volunteer fire department is volunteer. They do have paid firefighters. We do have a box back there. If you want to donate, they have a lot of volunteers that come here on the weekends and fight fires for our community and don't get paid. So if you have it in your heart to put a little bit in that box back there, I would appreciate it, and I know the firefighters would appreciate it. We also have 11-hour animal rescue with a tip box back there. All right, let's get started. Tucker, wherever you're at, where's Tucker at? I just want to say, I wrote this down. Don't focus on the money, focus on the people. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That from a teenager is like mind-blowing. So big kudos to Tucker. All right, so let's talk about how to buy storage options.
Please.
What's that?
Thank God he's not here. Don't
Okay. All right, Quincy, go ahead, hit it. So if you're interested in buying storage options, these are some of the facility or some of the websites that you can go to. StorageTreasures.com is pretty much the biggest. LockerFox, StorageAuctions.com, StorageAuctions.net, Bid13. There's all kinds of them. I just listed a few of them. Number one for me is Storage Treasures. Number two is LockerFox. Those are usually the only two that I use. You gotta keep up with me, son. Next. Prior to bidding, you do need to create an account, and I'm going to mostly talk about Storage Treasures. You got to create an account, you got to attach your bank card, you got to review this site. For each facility has different rules, so you got to read the rules and know your clean out time, know what kind of sales tax, know your cleaning deposits, whether they take cash or debit cards, and take into consideration any dump fees. I don't think that was supposed to be in there, but we're going to leave that alone. Review the facility. The location of the facility is key. If you're buying storage units, look at where that facility is located. Read the reviews for the facility, because the people using those facilities, they're going to tell you if there's mouse poop. They're going to tell you if it's dirty or it's a clean facility. I read every review of every storage option that I'm going to buy, because I want to know if that facility takes care of their customers, their tenants. I want to know if the place is dirty. I want to know if it's secure. I want to know if they have parking for a 26-foot truck. If I bid on a 30-foot unit without him knowing me, and he's going to drive a 26-foot truck, I need to know that. So read the reviews. you will find out a lot about facilities. You want to know about the location because if you think about if you're in a low-income location, you're probably not going to find high-end merchandise unless there's a lot of drug dealers that store their stuff in there. I happen to buy in those locations. If there are if it's a very prominent neighborhood, you may find nice stuff in those storage facilities. So know the location where you're buying or where you're going to bid at. Go ahead, Quincy. So if you're going to be brand new to buying storage units, my number one recommendation is to start small. Because I will tell you, a small 5x5 unit, it ain't going to fill up a Suburban back of the truck. You may think it will. You're going to get there and you're going to realize, holy crap, that 5x5 is this tall. And it's filled all the way up with every little nook and cranny, and it's going to take you 2 trips. So start small with a small unit, but just know that even a small unit, it's a lot of stuff to clean out. It looks a lot less when you're online looking at it compared to when you're in person. It's a lot of stuff. Check out the clean out time. CubeSmart allows you 72 hours. In most locations, you get 72 hours to clean that unit out. Public storage, extra space, they're normally 48 hours, but there are some that you get 24 hours to clean it out. And some of those are on manager special units. You only get 24 hours. So pay attention to your clean out time. Things that I do when I'm looking at units, I use Zoom a lot. I use screenshots a lot because it might be a dark shadowed picture. And I will screenshot the picture and I manipulate it. I add brightness to it. I add the contrast, the depth, like all of that. I manipulate the picture so I can actually try to figure out what's in that unit. So zoom and look in. Look at the floor. The first thing I do is I look at the ground of the storage unit. I want to see mouse poop. I want to see if I see roaches because it's going to make me not want to bid on it. Look at the stuff in the unit. You can see mouse droppings. It's little black specks. You can see it when you zoom in. And I'm telling you, we have bought units that were full of mouse poop and full of urine from mice, and you can't do anything with it. Unless it's hard that you can bleach it, it all goes to the dump. So pay attention. If you're going to buy storage units, look at the floor, and you'll see the mouse poop. You'll see the bugs. You'll see it on the clothes. You'll see little specks on the products or whatever's in there that tells you, hey, this thing has an infestation problem. And read the reviews because those people are going to tell you it's infested with mice. You'll see it. Look at the boxes and the quality totes. Now I'm going to tell you, sometimes quality totes don't mean crap because Quincy and I just bought a unit recently that had the expensive, like, hunting Plano totes, 16 of them damn things. We went up over $700 on this unit, got there to pick it up, and all the totes were full of junk. I mean, it was a legitimate unit. There was a legitimate person that had been running there for many years. But what did we make off of that? Whatever we sold the totes for, pretty much everything else went to the trash.
I kept 2 Star Wars posters.
Yeah.
That was it.
So sometimes good quality totes can mean that you're going to find good quality stuff in those totes because, in my opinion, if someone is going to spend money, $40 on a tote, they're storing something good. So pay attention to whether or not they have quality totes and things stacked in totes, whether the boxes are sealed. And this is a biggie if you're looking to figure out, is a storage unit staged or has it been gone through? If you go in and you see that all the tape is ripped off the boxes when it's been in storage, most likely someone's been in there looking in the boxes. Doesn't have to be the facility. Everybody wants to blame the facility and say, oh, the facilities go digging in there. I'm going to tell you 99% of the time it's not the facility going through these units, it's the tenant. They go up for auction, the tenant pays their bill, they get access to that unit. They go in, they pull out stuff that they want that's expensive, they go late again. The facility uses the same dang pictures they took from the beginning. So you go there and the pictures all look the same, but there's not the stuff in there because the tenant already went in there and cleaned a lot of their stuff out because they got access to that unit. So don't always assume that the facility is the issue. Should they have taken current pictures? Yes, they should have, but sometimes they don't. Visible, valuable items. You want to look, a lot of people say, oh my God, I see 10 freaking Jordan boxes and that box all the way up the top. Man, that's a $500 pair of Jordans. Let me tell you, the chances are there's not a $500 pair of Jordans in that box. Bid on what you see. Don't bid on what you think is going to be in there, because 9 times out of the 10, you are going to lose your ass on that unit if you are bidding on hoping there's something good in that box. And it's not brand new, so you're not going to get brand new money for that. And if you're bringing it to Whatnot to sell it, you're definitely going to get that money for it.
You get Whatnot money.
So look at the valuable items. Zoom in, use Zoom. Zoom is such a good feature on phones. Zoom in and look for Chanel, look for Fendi, look for Gucci. Again, doesn't mean that it's going to be Fendi, Gucci real products. It could be fakes. We spent $4,000 on a unit up in Jersey or Delaware or something we went and picked up. It was all pretty much all fake. All fake. Half? All right. Well, yeah, the other half ended up in your closet. Oh, you see the smile? Yeah, the shoes that ended up in your closet there, because they were all his size. So pay attention and zoom in and look for the name brands, because if you see the name brands, you're probably going to find some pretty good stuff in that unit. What else? I want to make sure I don't forget anything that I wrote down at the last minute. Someone mentioned about the last 15 minutes of auction getting canceled, or that they had a $10 bid and then there's 5 minutes left, and all of a sudden it went from $10 to $5,000. That's me. I'm letting you know, I do not bid until the last 5 minutes of an auction. Most seasoned pro bidders bid the last 5 minutes. Why do we do that? Why do I want to bid that up a week prior and make all the other big bidders look at that unit and say, damn, that thing's already up to 500. Let me go get in on that action. I'm waiting until the last 5 minutes because I don't want people to see that unit. I want to keep that under the wraps. That is one of my big tips, is don't bid ahead of time. Why do you want to bring that? Because I guarantee you that there's new bidders, seasoned bidders, all of them that are searching auctions by the dollar amount that's already being bid because they think they're getting a good unit. They think it's going to be fire because it's already at $2,000. That fire could also be a unit that someone staged. I'm just saying, because that is happening out here on a daily basis where units are getting staged because people are scamming us. So be careful on those. If it looks too good to be true, probably is. Stay away from it. There's other better options. Also, don't look away from some of the units that look like trash. I spent $140 on a 5x5 unit that looked like straight trash. But again, Zoom's your friend. I was zooming in and I seen white box with black. Who knows what that is?
Chanel.
Gucci. The Gucci box that's white, and I think it was the Gucci that's white and black. I know boxes, I know packaging. Get to know what luxury brands and their packaging they use. Because if you can identify a box, when we went and picked that unit up, I don't know if you were home with me then, when I went and picked that unit up, let me tell you what was in this little 5x5 that looked like pure shit. Nothing but Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel. I made so much money off of that $140 because people thought it was all trash. And it wasn't. They missed the little Gucci box on the bottom. They missed the little sticker that said Supreme, and I know what, Supreme's a luxury brand. It's a luxury item. So pay attention to those when you're really trying to look close at auctions to figure out whether or not you want to put your money in there. What's my next thing? Because I will get off track.
At the next slide?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go to the next slide. And I've already kind of hit on this. Don't overspend. If you're going to look at units, I normally spend every night, because around this area, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the main days that we have auctions. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I am at my computer from about probably 10 o'clock until 2 in the morning, looking at auctions and that are going off the next day. I don't look at them a week prior. It's what you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time being on Storage Treasures or Locker Fox looking at units that are going to end a week from now. 50% of them are going to be gone, and you just wasted an hour bookmarking stuff that you're never going to even get to bid on. Go use that time networking on Whatnot. Go use that time listing some quality listings on Whatnot. Go use that time to be in Corey's show or Philly Flipper show or Donkey Dad, supporting them to grow your business. Start building your social media, that's right. Don't waste your time looking at auctions a week ahead of time. Look at them 1 or 2 days before, because the majority of those are going to get canceled because those tenants are going to pay on their bill. They have up until you go in there and physically pay for the unit, they have up until then to pay that bill. And if they pay it, you're out of luck. Doesn't matter if you call the facility and you say, hey, can I come at 2 o'clock and pay and clean out the unit? If that tenant got there at 1:55 p.m. and they paid on their unit, it's not your unit anymore. It's not your unit until you hand that money over to the facility. Don't get caught up on one unit. If you're a pro bidder, you can put in as many as you want in your watch, in your auction watch. If you're going to put several units in your watch, don't just focus on one that you think is going to be like a bomb unit and that's the one you're focusing on. Go put a couple of them in so you have some backup options that you can go bid on. Don't expect YouTube results. There are some YouTubers out here that everything is freaking rainbows and butterflies that they touch. I kind of happen to be one of them, but we're really lucky. I'm telling you, we are really lucky with unit buying. And I think part of it is he and I have just built a really keen eye for looking at storage units because I study them. I literally study auctions on a daily basis. I study and research storage units. But don't expect YouTube results. What you want to expect as a new buyer, in my opinion, and buying auctions, buy it cheap, get rid of the trash. 50% of every auction is going to the dump. So make sure you're prepared to take things to a dump and to be able to get rid of that trash. 25% you're probably going to donate, and then you got about 25% left of value to sell. You want to at least break even. On your first one, hopefully you'll make some money. When I first started, I wasn't spending $10,000 on an auction like I do now. When I first started, I carried a little purse around with me that had cash in it, and that was my auction money. And if I had cash in that purse, I was allowed to buy an auction. If I didn't have cash, well, I was shit out of luck. I wasn't buying it. So start small. Don't use your personal income, that is to pay your bills, to buy auctions. Keep a little bag. Keep your money separate. You buy an auction, whatever money you've made on that is profit, keep it in that little bag so you know how much money you're making. And then go buy your next auction. And build that up to where eventually, hopefully, you're able to drop $5,000 down on a unit. I couldn't do that probably 4 years ago. I couldn't drop that kind of money, probably not even 2 years ago. Because I think Whatnot has literally changed my buying on storage units. Go ahead, Quincy. You won the unit, now what do you want to do? 1, prepare. Make sure you have gloves, make sure you have trash bags, make sure you have a broom, make sure you have tools, because you may have something that you need to take apart. So have a set of tools in your car. Call the facility and schedule a pickup time. Do not drive there without calling them first to schedule it, because public storage they are getting into the game of, it is going to be a personless facility. Everything is going to be, you show up, you put in a key, you can get into your unit and everything. There's cameras everywhere. This is all stuff coming in the future. If you don't know, I'm on Storage Treasures Advisory Council. They flew me out to Phoenix earlier in the year. We got to see the things that are coming, and one of the things that are coming are going to be lock codes that you're going to go in and put your number in. The door's going to open, you're going to see your unit, you're going to take a picture and show the camera that, yes, everything looks good. Then you're going to be able to go in there and take all your stuff out. That's coming in the future. But make sure you call, schedule your pickup time, clean the unit out, or take the gloves, the trash bag, the broom, and the tools. When you're cleaning the unit, I know Marla already mentioned this, but you got to remove everything. You got to sweep the unit, be prepared for the mouse droppings and the bugs, because you're going to see them. You're going to see the mouse droppings. You're going to see bugs. Don't estimate the size of the unit, which I already went over, and check everything. And when I say check everything, I mean check everything. I spent $600 on a unit down in Virginia a couple years ago, and I was so disappointed. And I said, I'm not making it. This is a bunch of trash. It was the family dumped. The lady had died in the nursing home. They took over things, shoved it in a little 5x5 unit, and I bought it because I thought it looked good. And I'm opening it up, and it's just junk. to me, junk. So I started separating it right there at the facility because I couldn't fit it all in my truck. Again, I underestimated how much was in that 5x5. Loading it in the truck, took a bunch. This is one of my little tricks. If it doesn't fit in my truck, I'm going to throw it in a trash bag, and I drive around to the gas stations and I dump it in their trash cans. And then I go back and I finish getting stuff. Another thing I do is I have a sledgehammer. If I can't fit that dresser, I am breaking that damn thing up into little tiny pieces so it'll fit in my vehicle just so I don't have to make a second trip. Well, I did that with this one particular unit. I put a whole bunch of the trash in trash bags and dropped them off at different gas stations, went back and finished picking my stuff up. Got home, started going through the unit. Guess what I found? Some crazy old woman who took $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 bills and coins and wrapped them in freaking like the Cosmopolitan magazine. She'd clip an article and wrap cash in it. I ended up finding over $600 in cash. Then I'm kicking myself in the ass because I'm like, God damn, I gotta go back to all those gas stations and pick all the trash up out of the trash can. Who knows how much money was in there? So check everything. Old people hide money in the craziest of places. Behind the pictures, picture frames, break them down picture frames if you're not going to sell them because there's money hid behind them. It's amazing where some people hide stuff. They will take like chapstick containers and all the chapstick's gone and shove $20 bills in there to hide it. So check everything. Don't forget about your cleaning deposit. Most facilities do require a cash cleaning deposit. Me personally, I wish they would raise that to like $500 because it would do away with all the scamming. I wish the deposits were $500 because I can afford to pay $500 and I'm going to clean that unit out. But don't forget about your cleaning deposit. Whenever you finish cleaning that unit out, you do get that money back that you put down. That's to guarantee that you clean the unit out. Please don't make it bad for other storage auction buyers by finding an empty unit and dumping the trash on there in that thing because they have cameras everywhere and they can see you. They can see you where you're dumping that trash and you'll get caught. And then they'll report you to Storage Treasures and then you'll be banned and you can't get another account in Storage Treasures. Quincy, go ahead. So now you've bought your unit and now you're like, what do I do with everything I have? There's all different types of places that you can sell your inventory. If you want to do the waiting game, eBay's your friend. I don't do the waiting game. I don't want to store that inventory. I'd rather sell it on Whatnot because I look at it, and it took me a lot to get him to understand this. I can have 100 items sitting on the shelf taking up space that might make me $1,000 or $5,000, or I can take those 100 items, sell them on Whatnot, they're off my shelf, I can go buy more stuff, and I've got $1,000 in my pocket right now. So you got eBay, you can sell things on Facebook Marketplace. I hate Facebook Marketplace because no one ever shows up. Or they show up and they say, I know you have a listed for 100, but can I give you 20? Yeah. Hell no, I'm not gonna take 20, go away. So you got Whatnot, you got Poshmark, you got word of mouth. If people get to know you, they call you. I have people that message me and say, hey, when you get this item, let me know. I have people I already source things to that I don't want, that I give to. BidSwipe is a new one. If you don't know about BidSwipe is with Storage Auction Pirate. I actually started, we started selling on there. I think we've done 2 shows so far. He's building this app. So if you don't know BidSwipe, go reach out to Pirate and get on there because it's a good app also. It's just like Whatnot, but it's growing. Let's see. If you ever have any issues with Storage Treasures, not with Locker Fox or anyone else because I'm not on their advisory council, but if you ever buy a storage auction from Storage Treasures and you had an issue, you can message me personally and I have their phone numbers. Like I can pick the phone up and call Marla, who was on today, and say, hey, this just happened. So if there's ever an issue, you can message me personally and I'll get that message and escalate it up through Storage Treasures, through Marla. She'll get in touch with whether it's public storage or extra space storage. And I think that was it, unless anyone has questions. I do want to leave a few minutes for questions.
Right here.
You're awesome, Jackie. I just want to say.
Aw, thank you.
He's like on BidSwipe.
Pirate makes his own fees, like what he charges, and right now it's at a discounted rate, and it's less than Whatnot, it's less than eBay, it's less than Poshmark. because he's trying to build that app. But it's a good app, and if you want to get some really good prices, go in there because there's not a lot of people in there yet. Yes?
What are some measures you take to keep from getting scammed? Because there's certainly a lot of fraud out there. And talking about checking everything, I bought a unit for $100. The lady worked for Kroger. I went through all the Kroger paperwork, found 6 envelopes that contained $3,250.
Wow.
Kroger gift cards, all valid.
That's amazing. You see that? Check everything. What I do to prevent getting scammed, like I said, I study auctions. I research the auctions. Corey and I, we were going to bid on an auction, and I sent him a picture of it. I said, this is going to be a banger. I've seen it up for auction almost 6 times already. I screenshot pictures. I save them. If you looked at my phone, it's outrageous, the thousands and thousands of screenshots I have of auctions. Because when it comes back up, I want to look at the current picture, and I want to look at the screenshot that I took maybe 6 months ago. Is it the same? Or did the buyer or the tenant get to go in there and rummage through and take all the stuff out? Because if it's different, then I already know they had access. They cleaned their good stuff out. I'm not going to bid on it. This particular unit, it still looked the same exact way. But we got outbid on that one. They went way too high. I'm not going to tell you who it was either. Go ahead.
So, how do you buy a lot of units?
I
You
do.
talk about buying a lot of units, and I'm sure you buy quite a few. How do you manage processing your inventory? So you go out and buy 3 units in a week. You're running whatnot. You guys are on multiple times. How do you process all that inventory and get it ready to sell?
It's just Quincy and I, and then my amazing employee, Wanda, who organizes for us. If you don't have a Wanda, I'm sorry, you can't take mine. She's freaking amazing. The work that she does cleaning and organizing our storage units is just, I can't even, it's amazing. But I don't sleep. He doesn't sleep. We work pretty much 24/7. If you want to be successful, you've got to, you gotta not watch TV. You gotta not sleep sometimes. And that's what we do. We pick up the unit. I am fortunate that I work a job that I just need the internet to do my job. So if we buy a unit, I can just take my laptop and he drives and I work. I forced him to learn how to drive a big ass truck because he was scared. I'm trying to teach him how to pull a trailer because that's the next thing is I want him to learn how to back up trailers. And he keeps telling me no, but they're not hard once you do it a couple times.
Spin the wheel the opposite direction.
Yep, exactly. But we do it all. We pick up the unit ourselves. We go through everything ourselves. We make piles. I have another auction buyer that lives up in PA that everything that we don't want, he comes down. I give it to him for free. Everything that was left over from Corey and I this week, he will be down tomorrow to clean the rest of that unit out. I give it all to him. I don't care. We already made our money on it. If he can go make money on it, good for him. I have a lot of people local that I give stuff to because I don't want to deal with it, and he doesn't want to deal with glass.
So I know when we buy units, I get excited and I want to go through the stuff on site. And a lot of times that causes a big problem, right? So you just pick the stuff up
Yes.
and then process it in a different location?
I do. I never ever go through a unit on site.
Yeah, because on site can cause a mess.
On site can cause a mess. The tenant can show up. We had that actually happen. We got a banger unit, and it was a 10 by 10. She had 2 units. She didn't pay the bill on one. She was current on the other one. She still gets access to the facility even though one of her units went to auction. We're there trying to clean it out, and she shows up in tears, crying her eyes out because she lost all her stuff. I'm not a mean person. We gave it all to her. We said, look, here. She said, take what you want. What kind of things can you make your money back? Because you can't have they can't pay me. They owe the facility. If they pay me, it's still my responsibility to clean that unit out. So she ended up giving us a couple $100. We said, you have until tomorrow this time to clean it out. Whatever's left, we'll come back and pick up. And we put a lock on. She has a key to it. We have a key. So, but it happens. So you don't want to clean the units out at the facility because you may run into someone that's not going to just cry. They're going to show up with a gun. And then you're going to have some craziness to deal with. So just get the stuff and get it out and get out of the facility. Yep. And it's more work. You're exactly right.
So you go through it there. You don't remember where everything is when you
Nope.
get back. So then you
Yeah,
gotta
go
go
through
through
it
it
again.
again.
Yep. Anything else? Because Corey's coming up to take the stage. Yes.
I win an auction, I don't pay the invoice, and it goes to the backup bidder.
Yes.
Do I get something for that?
If you win an auction and you didn't go pay for it,
Yeah, if I didn't get an invoice for storage credit, we have to go to like backup. Yeah, and storage is paid for either. Do I get something for that?
yes,
Do I get paid?
it's possible. If you don't pay that, if you don't do it, it's possible they will. I know you definitely will if they got their little percentage and then you go in there. But I don't know that I've ever had that happen. I don't wait for storage treasures to take the money. As soon as I win, I go in and click pay now, even though it does within like an hour or two. It's just my
The reason
OCD.
I ask is I think that's another form of a scam or a setup where there's a nice looking unit, and you got two people working together, and this guy bids it up to 10,000, and this guy started bidding at 500, and then next thing you know, he gets a $10,000 unit for 500. So I'm just wondering if that person could get banned for that.
That is an issue, and I know that's something that Storage Treasures is currently working on, is trying to prevent these scams from happening, but I do know that it's happening. And people are getting like really good units for $20. So, yeah, and but I can tell you, we meet every quarter with Storage Treasures on a Zoom, and we talk about the things that we're seeing out here, and that's the things they're taking back to their departments to say, hey, we need to do something about this. So I know they are working on that too. Ready? All right, we got Corey back, y'all.